I'm giving you a thumbs up, Hazy. That's
Yeah.
cool, bro. Good evening, Audio Nights. Good evening, Hazy. Good evening, Insider lovers. Quick one, Hazy. While we're sitting here in our separate worlds trying to connect each other via Zoom and password, what are the chances that while I'm sitting there waiting for you to send me the codes that I say, okay, there's 3% battery, do I go get the charger? He's not doing anything. The minute I stand up, I hear a ding, notification. It's like the morning when you're having your brekkie, you got your coffee or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Everything's cool, even your phone's there, but you're not looking at it. The minute you go for a SHIT or a PEE, the phone starts calling.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't call when you're there available, does it? It's just when you're thinking, like, do I answer this and say, hello, good morning, my accountant. I'm just going to drop the kids at the pool, or you know what I mean? How does the world work like that?
Well, it happens as well to me where like if I've got like an hour and a half to surf and I know that I'm like right, I've say for example, right, I finish work at 5 p.m. and like most days I finish like pretty much bang on time. The one day where there's swell, I'll get a phone call at 4:30 and it'll be the person who will not stop talking and it'll be about work and stuff. So I can't exactly be like, all right, mate, shut up now, I'm going for a surf kind of thing.
Or like, look, Casey, it's like, sorry, man, my dog's just had surgery. The
Yeah,
vet's calling. I've got to go.
well, exactly. But then
Don't.
I feel like I'm tempting fate when I do things like that.
Yeah,
Um,
you try. You're right.
but
I've tempted fate so many
yeah,
times, and I wonder if that my nose isn't burnt off.
yeah. But how you been? It's been
Pretty good.
cooking.
Surf was cooking on Friday, but I had a 50th party up the coast the night before, and I actually was a day I'd rather forget, and all surfers in the world would rather forget this when they're tired, late, have work to do, surf's cooking. It wasn't actually, it was a long period, and I thought, okay, so I'd swerved it, and then Fipsy rang me and said, oh man, go down. So I went, had a check, and I didn't end up going, and then when I shut the door of the cafe already once, and then the second time I said, "Fuck it, I'm going to Guitaree." And on the way home, I was just thinking, I'm so tired, and I could look like it was 8 foot on my phone without my glasses. And I got home and saw on the webcam there was 38 people in the lineup, and I quickly checked Wind Guru, and in an hour's time, there was a forecast 25 knot onshore.
Damn. Yeah.
So I had a nap, and when I woke up, looked at the webcam, and it was horrendous. And I thought I made the right decision. I walked away.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what, we had I made the most of it this we had like a little Thursday morning. I got up really early, um, 5:30, went for a 2 hour surf, came back at 7:30, walked the dog, got back all to start work for 8:30. And
That's
then,
I'm giving you a thumbs up, Hazy. That's
yeah,
cool, bro.
that
That's
was, it was sick as well.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then my friend Jack, who you've met, he came down on Friday, smashed out surf in the day Friday in my lunch hour, and then finished work at 5. Then we went to a spot around here. We had to drive a little bit, and it was just cooking. And we had this perfect A-frame. It was probably like head high, just overhead, perfect A-frame. And we surfed it for like 2 hours with us and two other people on this peak, and then surfed Saturday as well. Um, it was sick. And
Did you sleep like a bear?
yeah, yeah, Friday night was absolutely out for the count by like 9:30. And all of this happened with a new board that arrived on Wednesday. And you knew normally you get the new board curse where like
Yep.
you get a new
No,
board that goes
well,
flat for ages. But I
I
didn't use the
pro
new board. in those waves because I don't know why. I just didn't. But
Over the years, I've often been injured as the new board's ready.
yeah, and that.
I've had a couple of 4 month out injuries from that. Um,
But yeah, so
incredibly exciting our life.
I know, yeah.
Let's
So six
let's.
surf, really good surf here, really good surf where you are, and the main reason we're
Oh,
going to chat tonight.
it's Trestles, which is why I was trying to wind you up and wind myself up. And I just got one quick fucking word to make on Trestles, and then we'll dive into it, decisive it, dissect it, whatever you can do. Jack Robbo, where did he come from? The kid's back. He's a weapon.
Yeah, he is. He surfed good. Um, I thought the whole event was maybe the best event of the year so far. Um, I thought it was incredible. I think it 100% showed that if it's pumping, like, and obviously they did, I'd say in a way they got lucky, but they got good waves, so it ran in good waves. Um, it was amazing to watch. I think it
No,
was like,
because it was an event, because it wasn't
yeah,
deciding a world title.
yeah,
It was
completely
great. It
agree.
was just a great as an event.
But also as well, what it showed as an event with that is if it was deciding a world title, you wouldn't have got to see Joel Vaughan beat Italo the way he did.
No,
You wouldn't have
exactly.
seen Conor O'Leary do that mental backside turn that I don't think he got scored high enough for. You wouldn't have got like if you judge it on last year, Yago wouldn't have been in it. Um,
Betty Lou,
yeah, exactly.
the wonky donkey. She would have been still back in a cartoon book.
Sawyer Lindblad was a wild card, and she was incredible. I think she was like right up there with the best surfers.
What sort of a name is Lindblad? Lindbad.
God knows.
It sounds like her great grandfather was like,
A pirate.
yeah, looking for Moby Dick or something,
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
it?
it sounds like he was a pirate. Like, oh, there's Pirate Lindblad.
Well, they couldn't have named her Lindy.
Oh no.
Would have been
But
like,
I thought yeah, so word on the event, I thought it was really, really good. Um and yeah, I just thought,
okay, so why did I mention Jack? It's because the dude couldn't get through a heat when it was final fives. I was one of the first people in my brain, I'd have picked him, to thought no chance. He just knows how to improve. His calves he's doing there at the nine, and even the wave against Diego when he lost, he's never done that before. So
yeah,
like this is some I even heard Kelly say it, but we already know it. Like he's just someone who can sink with the ocean, but he's also someone that can improve. Now,
I also think that
imagine if he improves as like that in tube riding.
but also I think when you're comparing it to the final five to this, you look at the first two or three heats, or the first two heats that he had, he didn't do anything special, but he had the roll in. So then he worked his way up. Whereas in the final 5 day, it's one heat or you're out. Um, so I think a little bit about it was like, no one was talking about Jack in the opening round, and no one was talking about Jack in the round of like before the quarterfinals, before he got that nine. Um, but I think part of it is because he then like settled into the event, and then he obviously he surfed really good. I mean, to be fair, I think if I'm honest, I think Kanoa surfed better than Jack, and I think Griffin surfed better than Jack, and I think Diego surfed better than
Hey,
Jack. But
so do I. And I was going to get to them. I don't want to take any of the shine off Yago, but I was just pointing out an extreme jump in, and he needs it because honestly, next event's Rio. You wouldn't back him at Rio, even though he can do pretty good. He's really there's that. I mean, Ethan's in sixth, Jackson seven. It's a pretty open race this year. It's a really interesting final five, of which I'd be putting Yago as favourite. I just think he's in, I think he's better than Italo.
Mm.
maybe in a tube, but just Atalo's just fearless and furious that might get him there. And I just don't know if Geordie or who's at Kanoa have got the firepower to match those boys in 6 to 8 foot left barrels, whereas I absolutely know that Jack has.
It's a really interesting one, isn't it? Because before the Australian leg, Italo was world number one, almost looked uncatchable. You was kind of you was I was, and most people out there would have put him as a lock for the final five straight away. Now he's fourth in the world. He's got a little bit of a cushion, but Griffin's made huge moves. Like Felipe's at eight, and obviously going to Brazil, he's got to be right up there with favourites.
There you
Uh,
go, Felipe. What's he got? He's got Tahiti in there though.
yeah,
He's one of the favourites for J Bay.
one of the
He's one of
favourites.
the favourites for Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
Brazil,
yep. He's
JB,
one.
and then what have we got left? Brazil, JB, Tahiti.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's just
So
you listeners. I'm drinking. It's Father's Day. I'm drinking a Bourgogne ordinary, not a Grand Cru Class A, but
is that a
it's
Vert
just
de-
in a sensational red wine Pinot Noir that I got given for
yeah.
Christmas by one of my godson Paddy, who's a ballet dancer from Brisbane. Believe it or not, shout out to Paddy, just fucking legend. Like as talented as a surfer. If you can get yourself a good Pinot Noir, get one. Sorry about that interruption. Back to
Un,
Trestles.
un verre de vin rouge.
Yeah, but this isn't just a verre de vin rouge. This is a fucking verre de vin rouge extraordinaire,
Yes.
Mathieu.
C'est
Um,
magnifique. Um,
hey, Wonky
yeah,
Donkey, Betty Lou, smacking that back out of it. Oh, she's
she
pretty
went
good.
nuts. Like the on finals day in three heats, she dropped two nines, three eights, and one high seven. Like,
So there's confidence involved in there. And what I thought was pretty funny, and I just can't get it out of my head. And I think it's across the board in surfers across the planet. There's different levels of confidence, and you can go out surfing, and you'll have it too. Huh? Like if Ethan paddled out or Jack paddled out with you in the lineup, Hazy or me, they'd just be looking going to this waste of space. I hope they don't get him a road. I might smile, be a politician, and just steer clear of him. And you could do the same thing to like a
yeah,
surfer from Tajikistan who's never seen the ocean before, and he paddles out at Cornwall, and you're not like downgrading him. It's just
no,
it's just
it's meant to happen.
inevitable that you've got better ability and you want to try and get the better wave because
100%.
it's a so Betty Lou. I've always thought ever since one, she's Hawaiian, so two, they already look at the rest of the world with disdain, which they do. Uh, they've got that overconfidence of just being brought up in hell waves, which he has. Two, she's packed 8 foot backdoor, like I've said before, and that should never have been forgotten, like Molly. So, like, if they're paddling out like she was against Caroline Marks, that was scared shitless at that part, and rightly so, it was scary. You got to think Betty's just sitting there thinking, like, she's got that, I, I don't respect you sort of fake smile going, and just
Mm.
dusted her.
At Trestles though, you would at Pipe, yeah, but at Trestles, no. Like Caroline, like
Yeah, I know, but still they're in the water. This is my point, 50. They're in the water thinking, okay, this is this person's domain. It's 3 foot, it's soft, whatever. I can still take you in the real deal.
yeah,
And maybe that lifts them to a
yeah,
thing where, maybe this is my specialty, but you're nothing.
yeah, maybe for sure. What I was going to say, like when you were saying about Jack Robinson and where did he come from? I thought the same about Molly. I did not think Molly was going to go that good.
No, never did I. We didn't. She's the other one. She
Her
went
surfing
insane.
through the whole thing was like I didn't think Betty was going to come through and win it. Oh, absolutely not. But the way Molly surfed shocked me. I have been quite critical about how frontside. I don't think she's very good on a rail and or not.
Did you see those three calves in a row she did? She
Yeah,
kind of only got an 8 for it. And maybe rightly so because Betty Lou was attacking the lip. But that was beautiful surfing.
I think she's changed something. She used to be a bit
Yep.
more crouched over.
Yeah.
She seems a
Yep.
little bit more like upright in her body and her legs more
Yep.
like bent. I was really, really impressed. I mean, I genuinely thought Sawyer Lindblad was fucking incredible. Um,
Yeah, she's well, and I didn't rate her before, but that's her home beach. She's
yeah,
backside. She's got a really good picture.
that left is really good. And yeah, but I genuinely thought like nearly everyone surfed good except for we've got to talk about it. What happened to Kelly? Like in his opening
Well,
heat, he caught one good wave. He actually
what
surfed
do
it
you
pretty good.
expect? What do you expect? The man is 52. He's a great surfer. He's not surfing the same sort of shaped boards as these guys. He's not surfing as much anymore.
I
It was a silly call to give him the wild card. And
I don't like that
then he blatantly said he didn't even want to surf, didn't he?
I don't like that he said that. And I don't believe him either because if he
Of
didn't
course not. Of
if he
course
didn't
not.
want to surf, like everyone knows what he's like. If he doesn't
He
want to
could have
surf,
pulled out.
he doesn't turn up 100%. And saying that you don't really want to surf, it made him, to be honest, it made him sound like a dick because I sat there and thought people would have given a lot of time, effort, and money to have that opportunity to be a wild card in that event.
Who would you have given that spot to? If you could think right now, shut your eyes, any surfer in the world that's not who do you think would have a crack at it? Because that dude who's on the qualifying, Dimitri something,
Yeah,
Goulos,
yeah, he surfs quite good.
He surfed good, but still not close. So who is close?
I
That could have
mean,
got a wild card. Wild card, not someone on the QS.
well, I was going to say if you're saying wild card. And I've seen clips of him at the event at Trestles while it was on. Victor Bernardo would have surfed better than Kelly
Victor Bernardo would have went good. See, I couldn't think. He didn't come into my mind. You know who I
because
thought?
I saw that old surf dad that you sent me his thing, and he done a video, and Victor was there. Also like I know he's just got injured and he's in Crewe, but Dane Henry would have been great out there. Huey Vaughan,
I don't know if he's got the confidence. I reckon Huey probably has. How
Huey,
about this one? How about Rasta?
Dave Restovich.
Yeah, maybe he couldn't be able to keep up 6 heats.
I don't think he would have paddled out. I think he would have hated it. But
I don't know about him on a twin out there. He would have been flying.
yeah, I mean.
Fuck.
Look at it, when you think about like at the event there was Tanner Gadowskis, Pat Gadowskis, like there,
Yeah, they've had their run. They've had a heaps of
but
cracks
they would have
out
been
there.
cool to see. Like when you think about like like I would have loved to have seen
Too
Julian Wilson
old.
there. Imagine Julian on that
Too
wave.
old. Too old. Too old. I would
Well,
have nearly said
Julian,
the I would have said maybe Jet Chilling, who I don't like either. The woman hater surf pretty good too. The Hooshie.
Cole
Uh,
did surf good.
I
I
put him in
even
my team. You know, it's how shallow I am.
I thought that if the WSL had learned anything from the Australian leg, it would have been great to have seen Kolohe or some. Basically, if you think about
Yeah, there you
having
go. Kolohe would have been good. There's
yeah.
someone.
If you think about the Julian Wilson story at Burley, try and recreate that. I don't think Kelly was ever going to do that, but like,
Maybe you should be in marketing, Matty. That's a good idea. Chloe would have been there, could have done a 2%, blah, 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 blah. Everyone would have hated on it and said he had his chance, yeah. But what if he made the semis?
yeah, they were all saying the same about Julian until he started blowing up. So, um, but I do think it was a sick event. I thought it was, I thought it was done well. I thought the judging was pretty good. The Griffin Felipe heat was amazing to watch.
Hey, so you backed Griff for that win there? I did 100%.
Yeah, look, it's one of those runs where it was close, but I think Griffin done the better surfing in the event.
I
And
just think that air he did, Felipe, was good. It was a horizontal air. It was great. But I
yeah,
thought Griff's wave gave more
my
body energy. It was
yeah,
just
I
more
agree.
exciting.
My favorite part of the whole event was when Joel Vaughan done that massive straight air in front of Italo
Over him.
over
Sick.
him. It was so
Over him.
sick.
Sick.
I
Hey,
was like,
I was out at dinner watching that on my phone. I could hardly see it, and then it kept bugging.
that's core as by the
And I
way.
saw 15 to whatever. Italo was smoking him, and I just saw that was over. And then at the end of the heat, I saw it wasn't. And
Yeah.
Idolo, and like stupidly, Idolo was my bonus
Barry.
surfer by
Oh,
accident. I didn't mean it. And in our last podcast, which I listened to a little bit of, I said I was going to switch Geordie out for Jago, and I didn't do it.
I know. And
I
I
said it.
I backed Griffin hard on our last poddy, and I left Felipe as my power surfer, and then Griffin beat him. uh, so
I didn't see the Gabby who'd she get smoked by? Lawyer Heat. I was driving. She just fell off a lot.
yeah, yeah, she fell quite a bit, and the left,
Nerves.
yeah, I think so. And Sawyer on that left, she basically she just went left the whole heat, well, most of the heat, and it was really good conditions for that left, and she was just hooking it in the pocket, very
So
fast.
what's interesting now is there's a pretty good chance that Katie and Molly are in the final five. Let's say it's shut the gate. Can we
Yeah, if
shut
you
the
look,
gate, Erin?
there's a big gap. Her, Katie, Gabby, and Molly are all on like I think Molly's on 43,000 and she's third, and then next one's at like 34. There's a big gap.
So then there's another person, let's say Betty Lou, for example, which JB suits her. She's really confident. Chopo at the moment still doesn't suit her, but
She'll send it though.
sh she'll send it. She can pick dog. She did it at Pipe. So there's a good chance that she might get in the final five, right?
Yeah,
Gabby, I've never seen in a backside barrow, so I could be completely wrong.
I
But
haven't.
in my head, I've seen her in not looking comfortable. She's got no chance, has she, against Katie and Molly? Honestly, I don't think Betty Lou's got a good chance against Katie and Molly too, because they're both really good backside barrel riders.
And I
I
think
can't
Molly's the
see,
better one.
I can't see how it's not Katie or Molly coming through to the final and winning. If
Mm.
Gabby's still in front, and Gabby's got JB coming up, which she can easily win because she's shown that she's got more power than anyone and she's confident until this event. I really, if I had to put money on someone, I'd put it on Gabby at JB, even though now Betty Lou's looking, it's kind of pretty open. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
Betty
think
Lou's got the same technique there, but she seems to
I
have a little thing
I
going her
agree with
way.
you. When you look at like when you think about JB, Gabby Bryant, Katie Simmers, Molly, and Betty, all front side, all should do well. All have got confidence. Top four, they should all do well. My This person's not in the top five at the moment. I think if she makes the top five by the end of the season, and I think she will, I think I would put my money on her winning at Cloudbreak, and it's Caroline.
Yeah, Caroline,
She's very
she's
good in a tube going
she
front side.
in a 4 foot tube.
Yeah, but
Might be 8 foot.
she's
No,
good at J-Bay on her backhand. She is good out there, and she'll go good at chopes if it's like okay size.
4 foot. She's still struggling in anything over 4 foot. I think that, which is strange. Maybe it's because she's from Florida. Kelly is from Florida. He always struggled in overhead waves. I don't
But
know. I wouldn't back her at all. No, and here's the other one. She just didn't look good to me. Erin Brooks. I said it in the last body too. She's a great surfer. How old is she? Is she 16 or 17?
17,
17.
she's
Um,
tiny. She's so small, and
there's too much hand jive going on off the like the whip thing.
she just doesn't throw much spray. And when it's like a back-to-back wave, so if like
Neither does Katie, man. Katie's as small as her, but she does.
Katie throws, yeah, exactly. Katie throws more water than Erin.
Erin, if it's hollower,
Yeah,
okay, if it's hollower, she's a better tube rider than them, both of them. Anyone,
she
front side or
whips.
back side on the women's tour, correct or
Yeah.
not?
Uh, I think. I mean, yeah.
Molly's pretty good now, huh?
Katie's
Maybe
very
not
good. Like,
better.
you can't forget that maps to nowhere thing. She's
Katie's,
very, very
Katie's,
good.
yeah, yeah. So she's not, but I don't think she's like, I could be really wrong. I have been many times. I don't think she's got a chance at J Bay beating those four we mentioned before, or Carolina Lupo.
Yeah. What Erin?
Yeah,
I mean, the problem is I don't think she'll beat anyone close to get to it. And I think if she was at Cloudbreak, she
yeah.
like
I'm talking
feel
J
like,
Bay. I said
oh,
J Bay.
J-Bait. Yeah, sorry, at J-Bait. Yeah, not a chance.
Fast, long, fat, not really hollow, high and tight.
Yeah.
Like
No,
Molly
I
and
don't think.
Katie are gonna eat that all up.
Yeah, completely agree. Because the other thing as well that comes into it, especially at J-Bay, is variety. And on her backhand, Erin's got very little variety. It will literally be just like like the same backside Rio, like constantly. And I think not throwing that much spray, yeah, I think she'd struggle at J-Bay. I genuinely think she could do, depending on the conditions and stuff, she could do very well at Brazil.
There you go. So how about the two flash injuries from Trestles? Tyler couldn't work anything out, and Barron.
Yeah, I watched that heat and you could, the heat where she was injured and she went on that, it was the second wave that she got in that heat and she like leant down to her knees and stuff. And I was like, just paddle in. Like she was
Yeah, that's what I
comboed.
thought.
She was comboed. I can't remember who she was against, but she was comboed like with 10 minutes to go and her back's fucked. Just, oh, it was against Erin. I was like, just paddle in. Like,
She was already hurt, done the day
yeah,
before.
yeah. And Barron's is a knee, isn't it?
Yeah, what happened? Tweaked the knee. It's hard to know.
Yeah, they said it had
Tweaked
happened.
or ruptured some sort of ligament.
Yeah, they said he'd done it in his heat against Kelly, and then they haven't really said much about it. So
So is he out? Because he was
he's
the one
fifth.
that he could have, yeah, exactly. So he could have easily won the
Well,
world title. He could have easily won the world title this year if he
they've
stayed in the
got,
top five.
and that's the thing as well. What date is it today? So today's the 15th of
He could
June.
he could have beaten Connor in the
Yeah,
quarter. He could have solidified the final five. He would have been a chance for semis. He would back in for semis at Chopu. You would have backed him for round of 16 quarters at J-Bay just on his tube skills.
yeah.
But
It's a
if
funny
he
one.
misses if he misses Brazil, you got to think he's out.
Oh, if you miss Brazil, it's cooked. But Brazil today's the 15th of June, and the injury happened what 2 or 3 days ago now, and then
Yeah, but if it's a ligament, it's not
that's what I'm
like
saying. It depends
it's
what it
not
is.
2 weeks.
Because Rio starts on the 21st. So depending on the forecast, that he could be surfing in 6 days' time.
Yeah, and a wave where you've got multiple re-entries to
And
win.
backwash and loads of stuff and kind of airs and needed. Yeah. If it's a tweak and he done it as a precaution, then he should be all right. If it's bad, then could be game over.
If it's a tweak and he's saying, "Look, I've just got to get myself through Cloudbreak to go for the world title with a knee brace on," and then I've got 8 months to recover, 7 months.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see if he's a warrior, or I wouldn't call him not a warrior for not being able to do it, because you got to look at your life as well. You want to walk around when you're old limping
Well, he's definitely a
because
bit of a warrior as well with
well,
the way he surfs heavy waves.
he's a definite warrior, but like you got to think about your long-term surfing career as well, not even
Yeah,
professional. You still want to be able to surf in your 50s. No use limping around like a someone limping around.
yeah,
Huh?
exactly.
I don't know. So there's Griff, Ethan, Jack behind.
And Philippe.
Yeah, I'm just going to drop him now, but I just don't think he can do it. I don't think he can do it, but he'll prove me wrong.
He's
Who do
ahead
you,
of
who do
Griff.
you who do you want to be in the top five? I don't think Griff can make it from there either.
I think top five at the end of the year will be Geordie, Yago, Italo, Jack, and fuck. Um, so
Is Jack going to take out Kanoa
so
at
I
J
I
Bay?
think I think Kanoa is the fifth one because I think Kanoa will be the most consistent because Ethan might win J Bay, but I don't see him doing that well in Rio with his current form, and I don't see him doing that
Oh, he's
well.
pretty good. I think he's pretty good at Chopu. I think he's a surprise package. I
But
think.
Kanoa's always good at chopes, and he's
No,
quite
it's not. Not if
clutch.
it's 10 foot, but he's not bad there.
And then I think he'll do well in Rio with the form he's got. He was surfing very, very good.
Yeah,
And
he's
I think
flawless.
I think he's a dark horse for J-Bay because he's surfing that good.
Yeah, he's flawless. He's got a J Bay suits him. He's smooth
So I think my
attitude.
final five,
He's
I'm gonna say Ethan misses out, and I'm gonna say Geordie, Iago, Italo, Jack, and Kanoa. What about you?
hmm. So just Jack coming up. I'd like to
No,
see
no, Jack
Jack.
and Kanoa, because
Oh,
at the moment,
Canoa's already in there, man. Canoa's third.
oh yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah, he is. Yeah, yeah. So
I
yeah,
just want to
Jack.
look. It's as simple as this. I just want to see Jack in the five. It's not even because I'm Australian and he's Australian. It's just because he's the only ball to the wall hell man in 10 foot plus.
No, Barron's,
No,
Barron,
there's Barron, but he's
and
I
Italo,
reckon
and Italo is
it's
fucking
stupid to
fast.
say that, but I reckon Jack's better than Barron. I reckon Jack and John are just I've always said it, that next level up, like Kelly and
No,
Andy.
I think Barron is going that way. I think Barron's better than Jack because that's the way he's. I think he's better at pipe than Jack. I think
Yeah,
if
but
it
that's pipe. That's pipe.
no, but yeah, but
Fucking Cloudbreak reminds me more of those West Australian slabs up north, which are more
maybe
long. It's not just shoo. It's
yeah,
even
yeah,
even
yeah, yeah,
though
yeah. I mean, it's like having
Bar
the technique to pump in the barrel and stuff.
even though he did that, he did that Baron in his edit wherever it was. I think it was No Can Do. You're right. Like, but they're in the same ballpark. It would have been
Definitely
good
in
to
the
have
same ballpark.
both of them in, wouldn't it? They would have not both made the final with
It
a
would have been
stupid thing
yeah,
because they knock each other out if they're not number one seed. One of
yeah.
them's not number one seed. And hey, we didn't mention Geordie at J Bay.
Well, we didn't mention J-Bay too much, but yeah,
Yeah, well, it's a long way away, but you've got to think Geordie's going to stay in this final five, isn't he?
yeah. And the confidence that he's got, like I'll be backing him for J-Bay as one of the few picks. But so who would you say? What you think? Just Jack's going to replace Barron, or do you think there's going to be some movement still?
Yeah, I think Barron's cooked because
Okay,
I don't think he can get a big result at J-Bay or
Brazil.
Brazil, but Chopu's not till August, and that's
But it might be too much, too little, too
that's
late. Then.
that's 2 months away, and he could still win that. and maybe that'd put him in it. But he'd have to win.
And if he wins it but beats Jack in the final, and
Jack's still in.
Jack has a decent J-Bay and decent Rio, then Jack will be above him straight away.
Yeah. What if Joel Vaughan wins? That'd be good to see him win Rio.
Oh, so good, yeah. I
And I'm
think,
not talking about Final Five. I'm just talking about someone that upset that
yeah, me too.
Brazilian juggernaut in Brazil, which is like obviously he beat Italo with airs.
Yeah, he is. I think that Joel is the best aerial surfer on tour for.
Non-Brazilian.
No, I think full stop. I think he's better than all of them for
It's a
actual
big,
airs.
it's a
I think
big
he
call.
does.
How did he not beat Yago then, man? Yago is
Oh
just
no, but
ridiculous.
I think Yago's got more consistent airs, but I think
Yeah,
Joel's better
he's
airs.
older. He's
Yeah,
older. He's been on there longer.
Joel does bigger airs, more technical grabs. I think he's fucking sick in the air. I think he'll be dangerous in Rio,
He's
Joel.
qualified already next year for a
Yeah,
full year. He signed with a new sponsor, O'Neill. They got to
yeah,
be happy. They got to be happy with this result. They're American. They're from California. He's just gone to California, beat the world champ, title favorite for this year. You got to think that's solidified him with O'Neill for at least 5 years, and he's on tour. And I can't see how he'll get knocked off tour next year
yeah,
with this experience from this year.
yeah. Me too. And I also think that we was talking about it, but while it's fresh in my head, wild card for Brazil should be Matheus Herdy.
Maybe I don't rate him as much as I used to.
Oh, I think he's quality, and I think he'd do. I mean, last time he got the wild card out there, he got to the final.
Well, we'll see. I don't want to give him any more airtime than he should ever have, but I kind of thought Cole was underscored on a wave that he got an 8 against Jack, but then I saw Jack's 9, which was maybe better and longer. But Cole got an 8 against Jack, which was fucking ridiculous, man. He's got some insane power. It's
I
crazy.
thought that. So this is funny. I thought Cole Houshman beat Jack, but I think he got karma come back at him for being a dick, and he got scored badly. And Jack
Well,
got
there you go.
so. Hey, that Kukul core quickly because we run out of time.
Mm-hmm. Because
Having
we're both.
what is it core or is it kooky that you have a set of fins for each board that you ride rather than taking fins out of one board, putting it into another, and then when you switch
Yeah,
back?
no, that's core. Core. You don't want to be taking fins in and out all the time, in and out all the time, because you're going to ruin the thumb screws. Uh, it's just fucking around. You can as an alternative, but I've always tried to keep it. And for example, yeah,
I agree.
I'm getting screwed at the moment though because I've got a board that goes my yoga's insane as a quad, and as soon as I set it up with a quad, I go down the beach. It gets windy, and it doesn't like the wind. The quad it kind of aerates it, and as soon as I switch it back to a thruster, it goes grassy.
Yeah. I've got I've got boards now where I'm like, right, those fins are just for that board. And like because I also think it helps you dial in with your boards and stuff. I'm kind of lucky that mainly
You
ride
got to
twins. So
get your new board, go through your fin collection, find the one that feels the best, and then don't budge.
well with my new board it's pretty simple because it's a ASIM with a quad one side, twin the other, and I'm gonna need the it's got like a dedicated fin setup for it.
Well,
So
let's just hope it goes good, or you're up the creek, bro.
no way, it always goes good. Albums have never let me down, 10 deep. They're
Never leave your wetsuit.
phenomenal.
Never go to a party and leave your wetsuit at the party. I won't give you any details on that, but that's what I did. So now I'm without a wetsuit for a week or two, and it's the one I want.
You got a few.
There you go. Well, au revoir.
Au revoir. Merci.
Au revoir. Merci.
I'm in France this week. I might see you. I'll see if I can get time.
Yeah. I'll track you down. Of course, you got 5 minutes. Au
Oh,
revoir.
100%. I'm going to try and bring the crew to the cat. Oh.